Pick a warm up. Any warm up. So, remind me, why is that exercise that you were just doing, why is that valuable?
Because it teaches you to, like, you don't have to go, like, stick your foot, stick your hand, like, it teaches you to do opposites and mix them up, like, right, or...
Basically, in a nutshell, our body likes coordination that is symmetrical. So either we draw a line this way and it's right to right, left to left, or we especially like, even more so, we like drawing it horizontally and it's both hands or both feet. So we tend to like that kind of coordination. The more that you crisscross, the more that it kind of messes with your brain. So it's helping you develop the kind of coordination that you need for some of the fancier stuff. Like one of the ones, I don't think we've been over, like the really tough mambo. I've probably played it for you before, but the one that I learned in college. That one? Yeah. I actually have someone who's about your age who loved that so much that he wanted to learn it anyway. And he's almost at a point where he can do it. Pretty cool, right? But it's a lot of coordination. We've spent a lot of time on it because it's not an easy group that you pick up in an afternoon. Granted, he's not where you are drum-wise, so I'm not sure how long it would take you to pick up something that coordinated. But the more independent we are with our limbs, the quicker we can pick up difficult things. Because if you can hear it, most of the time you can play it, unless you don't have the coordination to match it. So by building your coordination, then we get to a groove. So the big thing is that you have to be able to hear it, right? So listen for a bit. That's one cycle. Then you just back to the beginning. A one. A one. So try, even if you don't get the sticking correct, try to just get the melody of it. Tell what it's based off of? Ba 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 da do da da do da 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 do da da. We've done that before, right? What's that called? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
It's called the 3-2 clave.
Oh yeah.
Because you have 3 in the first measure. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. So I want to make sure that we do some jazz stuff as well, but one of the things that I want to go back and revisit a little bit is styles. Okay, I know we've done those before, so it should probably take some quick review, but when was the last time you sat down and you played a samba?
No idea.
Exactly. So, why do I want you to have styles right off the top of your head? What's the value in
So
that?
if someone asks me to do it,
Bingo. You end up at school. You end up in a school band or some kind of thing like that, and the teacher passes out a sheet of paper, and you're looking at all these notes and stuff, and you look up in the top left corner, and it says samba at about 200 BPM. You know what you're doing.
I feel like wasn't samba.
What if I give you a hint? There you go. The last time I saw Wyatt was freaking out because Mr. Bacali wanted him to play a samba like that at 200 BPM, and he wanted him to take a 32 bar solo. Wow. Oh, no, not that. I want the metronome. Bars. It goes by pretty quick when it's going that fast, but that's still a long time for ideas and stuff. So we worked through how to build up a solo and some ideas that work and some ideas that maybe don't work as much, flexed some creativity, and eventually settled on something that he used for he had his concert the day after you guys had yours with Rachel. His was on Sunday right after. So but that kind of stuff will happen. So I want to make sure that you at least feel comfortable enough to do a couple things. So I'm gonna run through a couple names, and I want to keep track of how many you remember and how many you don't. Okay. So I'm gonna start pretty simple with ones that I already know you know, but I'm gonna check them anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously you've got rock. Okay. So yes, but you're also kind of you're leaning into shuffle. Shuffle. You were kind of swinging a little bit. You're kind of. This is more like hip hop. Hip hop is kind of more like that, where it's not really full swing, full triplets, but it's implied. So watch, listen to the difference.
Like in between rock
listen for when I switch over. You can feel it, right? It's a small change that makes a big difference.
You're kind of like, and then you add an offbeat like.
Yeah. The trick is implied triplets. So you're not really it's not playing those triplets like that. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. But they're kind of implied. That's kind of the vibe for that, okay? Alright, but I know you know those, so I'm not gonna beat those to death. What about punk? Play me 3 variations on punk. Big cat, little cat. If you don't, that's okay. There we go. Good. Okay. Give me 2 different variations on a shuffle. Okay. That's called the what, specifically?
Party.
Attaboy. All right. What about a regular shuffle instead of a half shuffle? Those are full-on triplets. Those aren't implied anymore. That's now you've landed in full triplets. So hip hop is kind of implied triplets. Shuffle is when you go full triplets in a rock groove. Okay. Have we done blues shuffle before?
No,
Okay.
not the Moody Blues.
The blues
good
shuffle
band,
is when you move the shuffle part to your snare drum.
Okay.
Everything else, you put the shuffle there. So what do you think makes a really clean blues shuffle? Do you think it's your bass, your right hand, or your left hand? Uh-huh. It's how tight you can put those notes together while still keeping the accent on the top. That's why it's tricky and why it tricks people up, is because the middle note has to be accented, and that's a tricky thing to do. So first off, to try to get da-da is already tough. To accent the second note, you have to up-down, which is a lot harder than what we're used to, which is down, up, down. Okay? The other thing is that the note after the accent has to also come back down, instead of da-da-da, 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 da-da. That's already one new one today. That's a blues shuffle. You remember that?
Blues.
All right. What do you remember that has Bayou feet? Have we done any?
It was like by album.
The other one was closer. 4 notes closer. Yeah. So maybe we didn't do this one. Okay, so that was the basic mambo that I taught, except you use cross stick instead of a full snare like that. Ding, gattin, ding, boom, boom, ding, gattin, ding, boom, ding, gattin, ding, boom, boom. Boom. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's tricky.
It goes.
I know. That's the hard part. That's the hard part. That's what you have to practice it for. Swap with me real quick. Because it's doable. You just have to practice it.
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah, you did. You did. But mambos can also go really fast.
That's not it. Clean.
I was a little loud on my ride. I probably should have taken that down a little bit. But yeah, so you can, but it takes practice to have that control, right?
And you already had that practice. I know.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not trying to beat you over the head that I can do it better than you. I'm just showing you that it's possible. So. that's one version of a mambo. That's probably the only one that I showed you. Actually, I do remember doing the paradiddle left one.
That's
Yeah,
what I
but that
remember.
But yeah, we walked away from it a long time ago because that one just, I could see your brain leaking out of your ears.
Do it now. We can do it now.
Probably.
Yeah.
But I think with our jazz stuff, that's enough mental strain on your brain for now. So we can definitely get into it if you. In fact, we probably will, just so that you have them. You got a couple different ways that you can do Latin stuff. So what about bossa? Do you remember bossa?
I don't remember the Nova.
I don't remember the Nova.
It's the Bossa Nova!
I liked. I thought it was funny. All right.
By all means.
All right. What kind of music is bossa? It's a ballad. Meaning they tend to be softer. They tend to have medium to slow tempos, and they tend to be softer. As far as Latin music is concerned, that's where they're slow dancing. Sure, some of them go that slow. So don't worry about not being able to be heard, but just keep in mind you don't want to play it like a heavy rock metal player. We don't want that. Okay? It's supposed to be nice. It's a nice little, kind of in a hotel lobby, on the beach, something like that. It's not like a party. Sambas, those are at parties. That's when everybody's out on the streets and there's a big band walking down the street, that kind of Stick does work for that one. You can also have little ghost notes. I'll play it for you so you can remember it. These are all good ones to have. Did we ever learn the soca? No? That was a fun one.
Ethan says no.
Okay. That one we can learn real quick. I'll just let you hear it a little bit. At the same time. So first off, something that I want to address is everything starts off on a bam, bam, bam. That's our default volume. But It's not really meant for that, right? The first time you said it, listen to that. Listen, hear in your head. Do, ga, 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 do. There you go. Oh, okay, all right. So, anyway, that one's come up a lot recently because there's a new worship song kind of going around that uses that kind of a groove. You guys have probably heard it already. I'm trying to remember what it's called.
What is it?
I haven't heard one that.
I think it's called Praise.
Praise!
By who?
Probably Elevation since it's new.
Elevation Worship. Brandon Lake and Chris Brown. So I have a lot of students that go to church and so they hear that song and they're like, "What is that?"
Oh,
I can show you.
that at church.
Okay,
That's
so
your
you have
church.
heard it before. Yeah, that would work. Gadu, 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 gadu. Yep, that works as long as that boom, da boom, da boom, da boom, da, as long as that keeps going. I believe it's also known as reggaeton. I think reggaeton uses that same groove.
Yep, that's how I know it.
Yeah. So it shows up there too. What did you do?
It was already ripped. It's just
What do you mean it's already ripped?
it was.
It's not a stick holder.
Oh, hey, look at
Oh man. Riding your bike too much? Is that what it's from?
that! I can't even ride a bike anymore.
What?
All the tires are popped.
Oh no.
Dad won't buy any new ones.
Oh well. Dang it, Dad. He never does anything for you, right?
Never.
I bet. Meanwhile, your drum set.
He was supposed to buy the bike tires a year ago. He never
I
got it.
challenge you to find another kid your age with a drum set that looks like that. I challenge you. Find one.
Me. I duplicate myself into another home. Whoa!
I don't know. If you were in a different home, I don't know that you would have a drum set.
No, I
that nice.
duplicate myself into another world.
All right. Let's see. So let's go ahead and do this now. Do you want to do listening for Out of Nowhere first, or do you want to do Houghton Book first? I'll let you pick.
Just one of them.
Well, we'll do both. I'm letting you pick the order.
I want to do Houghton first,
Okay, Houghton Book.
and then I get to just take a break and listen.
Sounds good to me. Okay. So, I made you guys a copy of just this page, right? So we were just
4
working on
bars.
those two?
Just started the 4 bar.
Yeah, page number 1 and number 2 of the... Yep. 4 measure phrases.
Yeah!
Alrighty.
I didn't get to work on them.
What?
He's been a little busy this last week.
I was busy.
Oh.
He was also supposed to record Dogwood this week so we can have it up by his 5th anniversary.
Oh.
It's not
Drumming.
anniversary, it's drummiversary.
Drumiversary. That was early February, right?
February 4, we figured it out. It's on the calendar now.
Okay. Yeah, that's close.
Or
What
no,
is that?
drum last
Is
anniversary.
that 2 weeks? 1 week?
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks.
But I have to have enough time to edit, or not edit, but mix it.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks. Oh, man. Alrighty. Alright. So, since you haven't worked on it in a week, that kind of erases enough of your brain that we can treat it as a sight reading exercise again.
Wait.
So, take a quick look at it. I went back over it. I think because that's on 3, I think I like it as a bass drum more than a snare drum.
Not a rock foot.
Yeah, that's the kind of foot that gets me a new bass drum head.
Like this?
No.
Don't put a hole in my head, please. All right.
Okay.
So let's give it a try. I'm fine either way. Both of them are good as long as your time stays. Because I went back and I went, am I playing it exactly like you are? And I realized the only difference was that I was hitting snare and then bass because it's on 3. Yeah, rather than bass, snare. So, but everything else is the same. Okay? So, go ahead and jump into it. If it goes wrong, no consequence, right? Just try it. Pretty close. Go for it.
I did. I just did.
Do it in time. You know how to do these. And you can go slow. Okay. So, you played just a bass drum alone. It's a half note. What do we put with half notes?
You just said bass drum. You didn't say crash.
Well,
You just
I
said
understand,
bass.
but I'm talking about a bass drum with a crash versus a snare drum with your crash. I don't think that's necessary. Okay. And then what about here? Is that how we learn those?
It's off.
Rough bark, bark, bark. Make sure you hold that. A rough bark, 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 crash. Tap, boom, tap, boom. One more time. 2.
I landed it.
Good. Swap. Because for whatever reason, I guess because we haven't done any of it over the week, I don't
Yep.
think you're hearing it like a jazz player would want to hear it.
Nope.
So first off, I know that your brain isn't like all in on it because you're still doing like this kind of stuff. And we know that when we're playing jazz, that's not what we're looking for, right? So even if you're playing the right notes, that's still, we're not looking for these BAM! Giant rim shots, right? Oh, I did 2 barks.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Listen again. Almost, but I recovered, right? So I flubbed a little bit right there, but for the most part, you can still hear it, right? Also, recognize the difference. Right?
Killing me.
Yeah,
That's him.
that's not what we're looking for. Even though what I played was correct on the page, it was not correct for the style. All right, so now you've heard it a couple times. Let's try to make it a little more jazzy. 3, 4. That was better. 4, 2, ready, go.
I was fine.
Well, that was 4 bars.
That was 1,
That was good.
2.
That was 4 bars. Isn't it? 4 bars. Let's go again. Okay.
Good enough.
You you seem to like it right about 130, which I do too, actually. That's where I tend to default. What do you think is going to be the hardest part with the metronome? Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Off. Doing the off.
Okay, okay. There's no need to blow my ears out. You can just give me an answer, right? It's going to be this measure. Okay? So, I understand getting a little bit frustrated by that, but we don't want to spend a whole chunk of our lesson time talking about shaking it off, right?
Yeah.
It's okay that you're wrong? Because what happens eventually? Think of every time you've ever been frustrated in here. What eventually happens?
Well, once we walked away from it.
Well, okay, once, but what about every other time? I'm not even remembering that specific time you're talking about, but if I grant it to you, what about every other time?
You made me do it.
You eventually get it, and then it's all fine. There's a lot of stuff that you do in here now that's really fun that was not fun at first. You sit down, what was the first thing you did today? Very first thing, you sat down on the drum set and you played. No, I'm talking about what you chose to do before I told you to do a warm-up. What was the first thing you did when you did it? You played a Purdy Shuffle. That was the first thing you sat down.
I remember just playing rock.
Okay. Maybe you kind of shifted around, you did other things, but you sat down, that was the first thing I heard out of you. Okay? So, I remember a time when that was very tough for you. It was very frustrating, you didn't want to keep working on it, you were frustrated, you were sick of it, you were on the verge of tears. Now you're at a point where it's so easy for you that you sit down, you don't even really have to think about it. Okay? So, being frustrated is valid. I get frustrated when I'm playing drums all the time. I've thrown sticks in your dad's studio. It happens. Okay? Yeah, I have.
Dad, has he?
Yeah.
He just hasn't clapped the snare drum and screamed in a high pitched voice.
I don't think that I could. Nothing would come out.
There's no frustration right now.
Yeah, unless I sat down wrong and pinched something, I don't think my voice could go that high. But, either way, being frustrated is okay. But the sooner we shake it off, the sooner we get it done, and then boom, you're a monster again. Look at how much progress you've made on this already. In fact, you even told me that it was fun, which is great.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago. Time
Sure.
has changed.
It's all I'm trying to say to you is it's the same stuff. It's the same thing every time. I give you something new that's hard. You get frustrated. We push through it, and then it becomes fun, and then you're happy to do it. All right? Mm-hmm. So let's not beat ourselves up. If it's not working, even if we have to take a break and come back to it next week. You didn't practice it this week. Are you going to be that much better than you were last week? Not really. Not if you didn't practice. So you got to cut yourself some slack. Okay? I'd much rather be running it again and again, because by now you probably would have it, but we have to have these kinds of talks. Okay?
Yeah.
So, shake it off.
Back to it, Bubba.
All right? You can do it. I wouldn't be having you do it. In fact, what I do every time is when you're not ready for it, I take it away, and we come back to it later. Everything that we've ever walked away from, it's because I thought, this is going to be too much of a hassle for you right now, but we'll come back to it later.
Yeah.
Okay? But I don't think I need to do that with this. I don't think so. I don't think we need to walk away from it. I think you're okay. All right?
Yeah.
All right. You got it, bud. Let's go. You want to try just that measure?
Yeah.
Sure, but you did it first try when you isolated. We believe you can do it. You just have to believe you can do it. Okay. Just finish strong. You are thinking you were a lot further off than you were.
I'm on the beat.
You were just barely before, meaning you were very close to being on the beat, but because you can't hear it, you're looking at the lights, you're feeling like you're right on it, but you weren't right on it. You were just a little bit before, which is the halfway point. You weren't exactly on the upbeat, you weren't exactly on the downbeat. You were only off by that much. Okay? So it's okay. You're not supposed to be able to do this kind of stuff easy in one day. Everyone struggles with this. Finish.
I'm seeing it.
I know. Just finish. You're so close. You're very close. Tell you what, let's try this. You got your headphones? Put the metronome in your headphones. I bet you that'll make it a little bit easier. Because you're trying to rely on the light, which is harder. I don't think he necessarily needs them because we're not playing louder.
He is playing loud.
Okay, yeah. Alright. I don't think he needs them yet, so I'm going to go ahead and just use it.
But it is nice to save my ears.
Yes.
Yeah, he's.
Well, I was talking about for the split.
Yeah, no, I just need to save my ears.
That's why he's got.
I should have another one of these headsets come in pretty soon.
Where's your 3?
It's up there.
Oh.
What I was saying is that Dad doesn't need the metronome. It's just the metronome. All right, ready?
Hold on.
Let me make sure I don't blow your ears out. How does that feel? Smash the metronome into your ears and you get it right 3 times in a row. Yeah. Okay? It's definitely in your ability to do.
Yeah.
So that's what I was saying when we were having that talk, is I said, in the amount of time it's going to take me to help cheer you up, we could have been done with it already. You know what I mean? She knocked it out quick. So that's just something that we're going to get better at as we get older, right? Not everything goes perfect on your first try. And that's just the way things go. The quicker you can just... All right, let's go again. You can put it off till later. The faster we get stuff done. That's especially as you get older. That's a good thing for men to be able to do. Okay, we're still a kid right now, but the quicker you learn how to do it, you know. All right. Number 2. Do you have time for it today? Yeah. I got somebody coming in right after you guys today.
If he can show you Dogwood at the end to see how your thoughts are of it too.
Okay, then let's give this a try once or twice. See how that goes, and then we'll do Dogwood the rest.
All right.
We'll skip Out of Nowhere for today. We'll do Dogwood. Okay. So do you remember the pattern?
No. Or yeah, kind of. 1 and 4 and 1.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2
We
and
tried
3 and
this.
4 and. Good, but where were your eyes? Yeah. So
I know it's fine.
you can memorize it because it's a pattern, but if you then get into reading, it won't be this exact same pattern every time, right? So it's important to use your eyes, because what if it only was this much?
Oh, wait, what?
What if I covered up measures 3 and 4? Do ba do ba, a do ba do ba, a do ba do ba, right? You have to be able to figure it out regardless of how rather than memorizing a pattern, you got to use your eyes and you got to read. Right? One measure would be do ba do ba a do boom ch 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 ch, right? Because it's only 4. Do ba boom. Eventually, we're going to go back through all of these, and we're going to make sure that we set them up. When it gets easy, like going back to rock and bass drum, and like, oh, yeah, okay. Because one of the big ones is we're gonna learn 1-bar setups. Right? We're gonna figure out how to do all that stuff. Okay. So this week, can we try to practice these 2 things?
I'll try.
Okay. Here's the other thing. Oh, we're gonna do dogwood instead of that.
I think, can I do the triplets now?
Yeah, if we went back and we spent some time working on it, yeah. I think you could probably get these top 3. This is the one that's these are polyrhythms. That's gonna take a while. So that last one in particular is gonna be really rough. I think you could probably do these 2 here.
Okay.
Because this would be do do da do 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 da do 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 da 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 da. But you have to be able to play triplets on your feet and hi-hat and 8s in your hand. But you know what this is? 3 and 2. But you have to hear it from the triplet perspective.
Blow us out, right, dude?
Maybe.
And we'll try to work on it this week. Because it also helps be less frustrating in here when you practice it during the week.
Agreed.
You'll get better at it at home. Yeah,
it's still the bridge that's rough from the last time I heard him play.
Okay. The best thing to remember when you start getting frustrated is that everybody makes mistakes. Okay? If I still play the wrong thing sometimes, you can play the wrong thing sometimes. Especially if I were to go take a lesson with Al or Greg Bissonette or Dave Weckel, one of these top level guys, I wouldn't be able to do the stuff that they can do. But they would show me how. And I just have to be okay. I thought it would still be in here, but I guess I've done a lot of searches since the last time I listened.
Building a better me.
Okay. So yeah, the only spot where I was even really hearing any difference at all really was in the bridge section. I think as far as what I could hear, there were a couple spots in particular where I kind of looked up and went, "Ooh, that was nice." I'm not remembering them off the top of my head. I told myself I would, but yeah, I think as long as you have that whatever you play there, I think will be fine because that's a lot of ad libbing. It's breakdown. You've got all these like recordings playing in the back and all that kind of stuff or whatever. So the drummer's keeping it interesting while the listener is only kind of half listening to the recordings in the back, right? Because it's not the singer anymore. So because he's ad libbing, you don't necessarily have to catch everything that he does. Just make sure that main theme stays. And I noticed the first thing that grabbed me was that it took you a minute to settle into that because it's a major feel change. Major feel. It goes from double time, skips, and goes all the way to half. You just huge feel change. So to jump into that immediately would make it go a lot smoother. But your fills that were in there were pretty nice. There were only a couple where I thought, oh, it was wobbly, but we got it. But there were a couple others that I thought, wow, that was really nice. You nailed that. So, why don't we? I'll take it back to just a little bit before the bridge, if you don't mind. I know you kind of have these long videos for YouTube. Would you be able to cut and then take a smaller recording so that you could text it to me?
Yeah.
That way, later this week, I could listen to I can listen to the recording here. Because the other thing, I can't really hear both of them while they're happening simultaneously that well. So if I can listen to it on my own and then go back and listen to how
I'm
he's doing
gonna
it.
stop this video and then start another one.
That'd be great.